Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Gina here, about to get going on our Vinyasa Flow Yoga for this sunny Saturday. Hope everybody is doing well and is healthy. I'm really happy to be here with you all. Thank you for taking time in your day for your practice. Practicing yoga is such a wonderful way to get connected to yourself, and through the movement and the meditation and kind of together the moving meditation and the inner calm and inner connection that we feel, we're providing ourselves a service, right? Where we're remembering to kind of take care of ourselves. But this can create a little bit of a ripple effect to those in our surroundings, right? Maybe you're able to show up with a little bit more love and kindness to your family members. Maybe you're able to be a little bit more patient on your next Zoom meeting. The gifts that yoga can provide for us are endless. So welcome. If you're just joining, you didn't miss anything. I'm just talking to make sure that the sound works and it's coming through. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes here. Let me know that you can hear me okay. And as we're getting set up, please grab a blanket and two blocks. They can be thick books instead if you don't have yoga blocks. We'll be using them to bring the floor up to us a little bit in our movements, our asanas. Okay. Great. Thank you, Chris. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, it is 9:30, so we'll begin. I look forward to spending the next hour together in our yoga practice. Today's intentions surround contentment. In Sanskrit, that's Santosa, contentment and gratitude, Santosa, as it relates to and kind of works with suffering. In Sanskrit, this is dukkam, to suffer. And they're kind of linked, right? If we are striving for something in the future that's yet to come, or if we're kind of stuck in something in the past that gave us great joy or happiness, or we're feeling like, if only I had that thing back again, if only I had my normal life, if only I had my normal routine, or when this whole thing is over, I'll feel happy. When I reach this accomplishment, I'll feel happy. Both of those ends of the spectrum, when we're stuck there, we're experiencing suffering. We are experiencing that sense of dukkam, okay? And then when we're right where we are in the middle, when we can appreciate everything that we have, regardless of the circumstances. I know things are hard right now. Everybody is experiencing some level of difficulty or discomfort, change, which is sort of the root of the suffering that we kind of attach to. We're all feeling that, but when we can appreciate some form of the little things, right? When we can feel grateful for each passing breath, when we can feel thankful that we have, food to eat and a bed to sleep in, our health, whatever it may be, we are experiencing that sense of ease and contentment and gratitude, right? And sometimes that's really hard to do, of course. It's natural to kind of weave the web of the stories, and kind of get a little bit stuck. So hopefully in our physical practice today, we can get a little bit unstuck and kind of get out of our own way a little bit. But I was reading a little bit in preparation for class today, and one idea that kind of stuck with me that I really liked is that contentment, or Santosa, is like making a soup, right? It doesn't achieve that fullness and that richness of flavors and texture, and it doesn't bring us as much joy if we're just bringing it to a boil right away, right? It comes to fruition through a simmer. And sometimes that's how our contentment practice is, that it's not going to come just right away, right? We can't just be instantly happy, although our society wants to kind of make us that way, right? Buy this and you'll be happy. Do this and you'll be happy. That's not really how it works, right? We have to sit with discomfort. We have to kind of wade through the waters of discomfort a little bit. And then we find, here I am, right? I'm content. I have a home. I have friends. I have, all of these maybe incalculable things, maybe intangibles that we're so, so grateful for. And so I'd like us to just keep those as our kind of mental or spiritual or emotional focus this morning. Hold those things in your heart. Maybe with each passing pose or each change in the pose, find a new aspect of the posture to be grateful for, or the experience, or maybe it links you to a different experience, maybe something off of your mat that you can be grateful for. And hold that in the space of your heart today, instead of beating yourself up for not being able to do the pose the way you think you should, or the way I'm doing it. Recognize that you are whole and complete just as you are. Ease that future suffering by just allowing yourself to be present as you are this morning. Okay? So if you haven't had your props available, take a moment to get those now. We'll be using 2 blocks or some sort of block substitute, like a thick book, and a blanket. At the end, in our Shavasana, we'll probably use this blanket as a bit of support to make ourselves more comfortable. And if you happen to have like a bolster or a secondary blanket, you might want to grab that too, just to give yourself some options. Okay? We'll start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. That's soles of the feet together and knees wide. And your feet can be in or out from your body. It's up to you. The further away your feet are, maybe the less intense this sensation might feel around the hips. And the closer your heels are toward your body, perhaps the more sensation you'll feel, okay? So take a moment to let yourself get situated. You want to be able to find some sort of like Goldilocks version, right? Something in between. It's not too much effort, but you're feeling something, okay? And you can close your eyes down if you'd like to, if that helps to be with your breath a little bit more, kind of close out the external environment just for a moment so you can ground yourself in yourself. And start to just notice your breathing. Be grateful for this opportunity to breathe. And even as you are breathing right now, whether you've changed some aspect of it, sometimes when we're told to breathe, we just automatically breathe a little deeper, and that's normal. But just allow your breath to be kind of a gift to yourself and to the universe, right? The inhale is a gift that the universe gives us, And the exhale is a gift that we can give to the universe. So even in this simple breath awareness practice, know that you're giving yourself a gift and that you in turn are providing a gift elsewhere. Let's take about 3 more breaths, just lying here, allowing the back of your body to surrender into your mat, feeling that connection, that sense of ease in your body and maybe in your belly and your chest too. And then at the completion of your next exhale, let your knees start to come back up. You can help your legs come back up using your hands to press into your outer thighs. And you can keep your knees wide and just rock your knees from side to side. Starting to let your breath kind of guide the way. So your inhales might bring your knees up, and then the exhale might bring them to fall. And let gravity play its part here. You don't have to strive to bring your knees closer to the floor or anything like that. Just notice the inhales kind of naturally lifting and the exhales naturally lowering. Let's go once more to each side. And then pause, bring your feet back kind of in line with your hips. Take a deep breath in here and let it go. And then bring your knees into your chest, and you can find a little movement here, rocking side to side. Maybe around in circles. I always like to open up my feet a little bit here too, flare the toes or roll the ankles. Let your knees go wide, just kind of keep holding on to the knees a bit. Sometimes I choose this version instead of happy baby pose when it's cute in a class because it allows the whole of my back body to stay down, and that can feel really nice. So just kind of put this one in your memory bank. And then let's bring the knees back together and let your fingertips point down toward your feet, and just let the weight of your legs lengthen out your arms a little bit, and maybe even you're feeling your low back kind of release into your mat a little bit more, maybe a little bit of a stretch there. And if you are noticing or feeling a little bit of curvature in your spine because of that, that's pretty normal, right? Our lumbar spine has a curve to it. We don't have to always have our back totally flat on the ground when we're laying on our backs. And then when the weight of the legs kind of pulls into the hands, that curve may be a little bit more pronounced. Okay. All right, let's take another breath in and out. And then let your knees come out over your hips and your feet extend forward. You can kind of make a 90-degree angle with your legs and with the bend of your knees, I suppose. And bring your arms out to your sides and bring your knees together. Hug them together. Start to draw the belly in toward your spine. And let's start to rock the knees from side to side. And you'll come down onto the outer hip, but try to keep your knees away from the floor. Okay, so you're starting to use the strength of your core here to rock from side to side, but also giving yourself a bit of a spinal twist as well and lengthening along the sides and back of your body. With your arms down at your sides, you can hopefully keep your shoulders down on the mat. And if that means you're not bringing your knees as far down to the floor, that's okay, right? Try to keep your shoulders down, and as your knees rock from side to side, you're breathing into the sides of your body here. And your head can kind of rock with the movements or just stay up, face pointing toward the ceiling. So once more to each side. And then come back to the center, release your feet to your mat and pause. Notice the difference in sensations in your body. And then let your feet go wide and your knees together. Again, sort of letting gravity take over here as it draws the knees inward. Let's bring the hands onto the belly. Close your eyes. Breathe in, feeling your belly press into your hands. Continue breathing. Feel your breath move into your ribs. Keep breathing and notice the breath moving into your chest. As you exhale, let it go out through your nose, letting the breath travel down through the chest, the ribs, and then kind of pulling the belly in. Inhale, feel the belly press up. Let's move the hands up to the rib cage. Feel the hands expand as the ribs move up and out with the breath. Move the hands to the chest. Maybe feel the chest rise into the hands. And then exhale, let it release back down. Let your hands travel back down. Let's go one more time. Breathe into the belly, into the lungs, into the chest. Pause. Take in just a bit more air. And then exhale softly from the chest, from the ribs and belly. Bring your knees back into your chest, and we'll make our way onto our hands and knees. So if you want to do that kind of rocking and rolling, you're most welcome to. If you just want to roll off to the side and press yourself up, that's okay too. Okay. So make your way onto your hands and knees. We'll meet there. And as you're getting set up in your tabletop position, start to find some movement. You can rock your hips side to side. You can find your own cat and cow type movements. All the while breathing in and breathing out. Start to connect to your Ujjayi pranayama, breathing in and out through your nose. And you can maintain that breath practice through the duration of your asana, your movements. But if it becomes restrictive or you're feeling overheated or it's just hard to move and breathe at the same time, just take one of your normal breaths in and out and let yourself kind of calibrate, and then you can find that Ujjayi breath once again. Let's pause here, and then together we'll move through some cat and cow postures. Press down through your palms, tuck your toes under, draw the belly in. Let's take a breath in and out, feeling that engagement in tabletop. And then inhale, let your belly drop, lift your head and tail, reach your chest forward. And exhale, reverse. Press through the palms. This time, press through the tops of the feet. So flip the toes out. Arch the back like a cat. And then inhale, draw the toes under. Reach the chest forward. Draw your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, pull in. Press through the palms. Lengthen your arms. Press through your feet and shins. One more time. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale here. And then inhale, lift your right arm up, opening across the right side and into the chest. Exhale, thread the needle. Bring the right arm underneath the left. Come down onto the right shoulder, the right cheek, and settle in here. Swivel your pelvis back toward midline. So kind of draw the right hip a little bit back. And let your sitting bones pull to the space behind you. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And then with your next inhalation, lift back up, bringing that right arm out and up, and then let it cycle forward, kind of getting a little rotation in the shoulder. Pause. And we'll find the second side. Lift the left arm, open the chest, and then exhale, thread the needle. Bring it underneath the right arm. Lower the left shoulder and side of your head. Adjust your hips and adjust that top arm, the front arm, right arm. So maybe you're reaching it forward or maybe just kind of staying put right here. Notice the quality of your breath. See if you can find that subtle shift from the beginning, the middle, and the end of your inhale the beginning, the middle, and the end of your exhale. And then let's start to unravel here. Bring that left arm out and up, open once more, and exhale, bring your hand back down. Let's take the hands in front of where they were a bit here. Let's come down into puppy pose. You can extend your arms out, lower your head and your chest. And if it doesn't feel quite comfortable to bring your head all the way down, use your block, one of your blocks or your book, to support your forehead. So noticing if there's any strain in the neck or pinching in the shoulders, using your blocks can be helpful, either one under the forehead or maybe even under your palms, right? Lifting up just a little bit. But let's all take a deep breath in through the nose, deep breath out through the nose. One more time, following your breath, noticing those subtle shifts in the body, gentle movements as you breathe in and out. Bring yourself back up, and let's tuck the toes under, giving care to pluck those pinky toes out as well. They don't always like to participate. Here we are in toes pose. I'm sitting all the way down on my heels, but for others that may not work so good. So you can come anywhere up from, being all the way on your knees to anywhere in between. This doesn't really work for your knees. Place a blanket under there for some more support. Let's breathe in here, pull the shoulders up towards the ears, breathe out, let the shoulders melt onto the back. Couple more of those shoulder shrugs. Inhale, shoulders up, down, and back as you breathe out. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, they move down and back. Let's pause here, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then release back to your hands. Lift your feet up into the air and shake them out. And then little pat on your mat. Let's take the hands out about a handprint and as wide as the shoulders. Plug the thumbs and index fingers down. Tuck the toes back under and send your hips back for downward facing dog. Let's pedal out the feet here. You can move kind of deeply in these knee bends, almost like you're resting your belly on your thigh, or just gentle little pedals. And then commit to the pose. Find some stillness here. Find a bit of engagement through the arms and through the legs. Your knees can be bent or your legs can be straight. That part's up to you, and you can flow with that through your practice. The legs don't always have to be straight. The heels may never touch the floor, right? That's okay. Let's find some contentment here in this pose, just as you are. How can you feel grateful for the experience you're having in this moment? Let's take a breath in and out. And then inhale, look up toward your hands and start to walk toward your feet. Walk your feet toward your hands. And then inhale, lift halfway up, draw your hands into your thighs, roll your shoulders onto your back, add a little bend in your knees here. Let's just stay lifted in Ardha Uttanasana for a few breaths. And with your inhales, press your hands into your thighs and lengthen a bit here. Keep the knees bent so we're not really locking out and adding too much strain to the backs of the legs. Try to soften your face and your jaw. Draw the belly in toward the spine. Let's take another breath in. And then exhale. With all this length, we can just melt down and hover here. And again, keep the knees as bent as you want as we stay in Uttanasana, forward bend. You can bind your arms if you'd like, or sway. Maybe a combination of both. I like linking the hands at the neck sometimes. Thumbs can come to the sides of the neck. Give yourself a little bit of traction, drawing down. And then release whatever grip you've made with your hands. Start to bend your knees deeply and roll yourself up to standing. Take your time. Okay, when you make it there, give yourself some shoulder shrugs and fist rolls as well in both directions. You can get your arms into it a little more, bend your elbows, rolling forward and back, maybe rocking along your feet too. Just adding in little bits of movement where we can, letting go of any stickiness or tension. And then let's settle back into stillness here. And roll the palms open. Let's find Tadasana, mountain pose. Let the shoulders draw down onto the back. And as you're reaching gently toward the floor with your fingers, feel your feet press down into the mat as well, giving yourself some integrity in the pose. The tailbone will draw gently underneath you, kind of pivoting the pelvis under a bit. Lengthen up through the spine, up through the crown of your head. Nice long spine here. Breathe in and out. Let's inhale, circle the arms overhead, and exhale, draw the palms down in front of your chest. Again, inhale, circle the arms overhead, maybe lift the gaze, lift the chest a bit, and exhale, palms come down in front of your heart. Extend your arms out to the sides with your palms turned out to the side, fingers up. And notice how sometimes the shoulders pinch up as well. See if you can release them back down. For me, this one's always sort of tough. Maybe you too, if you're working at your computer a lot, this just pressing out to the sides is so good, but so hard. Let's take a breath in and out. And then rotate the palms upward, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Bring your hands out in front of you. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let's inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the palms down. Inhale, bring the palms out to the sides. Exhale, rotate the palms upward. Inhale, reach the arms forward, kind of rounding in toward your body. And then exhale, this time let's open up, cactus the arms, lift the gaze, lift the chest a bit. And then exhale, release the hands down, around, and overhead. Exhale, bring the palms down in front of the heart. Pause here. Breathe in, extend the arms out to the sides. Breathe out, turn the palms up. Breathe in, bring the arms out in front of you, round the chin toward the chest. And then exhale, draw the hands back. Cactus the arms. And release the hands down. Let's inhale, circle the arms up and overhead. Exhale, release them back down. And let's pause, bring the hands in front of the heart. One breath in, one breath out. Great. We'll inhale to circle the arms overhead. And then exhale, palms come down. Let's hinge from the waist, fold forward and down. Plant your hands, step your feet back. Come into salutations, plank pose. You can take your regular kind of push-up position or come to the knees. The knees will be beyond the hips here. It's not quite tabletop, more just like hands and knees, so that you're still getting that upper body engagement. So up to you, full plank or that modified plank. Let's all breathe in and let's breathe out. Press out through the heels, press through the crown of your head. Feel the belly draw in. One more time, breathe in, and then exhale. Let's all come to the knees. Bend the elbows, lower down, lower your whole chest as a unit, okay? Lowering all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes, press into the pelvis and the tops of your feet, and inhale, ripple up for baby cobra. Let the shoulders come together a bit on the back, sides of the neck are long. Exhale and release. Let's go a couple more times, rolling cobras. Inhale, rippling up, shoulders down and back, elbows back, gaze is down. Exhale to release. Inhale, lift to your baby cobra, or if you'd like, you can press into the hands a bit and come into more of a king cobra, a larger cobra, up to you in your low back. And then exhale and release. Tuck the toes under. Peel yourself away. Let's come into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch. Release your head down, or bring your hands underneath and make a little pillow for your hands. let's take a moment to remember here that our asana, our movement practice, is one component of our yoga practice, right? So the asana is not the yoga, not the complete picture of the yoga. It's the residue that it leaves in us, right? Asana is not the yoga, it's the residue that it leaves in us. And we need to be reflective of what residue we're creating and notice when ambition gets the better of us, and then we'll create the residue that will create less suffering in the future. So as we keep moving through our asanas, through our movement, remember that this isn't the only piece of the puzzle, right? That we have reflection and meditation and breath work that compose a larger picture of yoga, right? And maybe notice that residue, that sort of after effect of what the poses bring to your body, and use that to create a little less suffering. So notice when striving and when ambition sort of get in the way, right? That like, I should do this, I should look like that, or I should force myself into this pose more. And notice what kind of residue that might create, right? It's okay, it happens. I've been there too. I want to push myself into the asanas and challenge myself, and that's not wrong. But we just want to notice, right? When is that appropriate? When is that striving beneficial? Are we growing from it, or are we just judging ourselves and being hypercritical? Okay. One more breath in and out here. And then inhale, lift yourself back up. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Let's inhale deeply through the nose and exhale with an open mouth. Seal the lips again. Breathe in. Keep the lips sealed. Breathe out. Let's inhale and lift the right leg back, bend the knee and open the hip. Find some movement here. Maybe knee circles, maybe just ankle rotation. And then steady yourself back to a three-legged dog. Let your pelvis rotate down. Press out through your heel. Crown of the head points to the space between the hands. And using the strength of your core, start to pull that foot through. Maybe it comes in several steps. Maybe you help it. But let it come through to where the right thumb had been. Let's inhale, lift gently onto the fingers, reach the chest forward, but let your gaze stay a little down. Okay, chin is a little bit tucked here. Breathe one more time in. Exhale, step the back foot in and forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway up. Press gently into the thighs, reach the crown of the head forward, and exhale, release back down. Bend the knees, press into the feet. Let's inhale, root to rise. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, release the hands down, around and overhead. And exhale, bring the hands together and we fold back down, hinging from the waist. Keep your right foot where it is. Step your left foot back into a low lunge. Again, we lift gently to the fingers. Feel the engagement of the inner thighs as the left inner thigh pulls toward the right inner thigh. And the belly draws in. Take a breath in. Exhale, plant the palms and step the foot back. Salutations, plank pose, your version, whether it's knees lifted or knees down. Breathe in one time. Breathe out one time. And we'll lower the knees if they were lifted. Bend the elbows. Lower your torso as a unit. Untuck the toes. Press the feet and hips down. Inhale, rise for baby cobra, your version. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes under. You can peel yourself away. You can press through hands and knees or press to a plank. Doesn't matter, up to you. We'll meet in down dog. With the next inhale, lift the left leg, bend the knee, and open the hip. Find the movements that feel good to you. And then rotate the pelvis back down, extend through the heel. Okay, three-legged dog. Take a breath in, and then exhale, start to roll forward, pull the knee through, and step the foot down. Again, maybe you help the foot along, that's great. Let's inhale, lift to the fingers. Notice the legs nice and strong. They're keeping you supported. With your next exhalation, you'll bring the back foot in and forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, release back down. Bend the knees, press through the feet. Inhale, root to rise, arms come overhead, and exhale, palms come together in front of the heart. Pause. Inhale, circle the arms down, around and overhead, palms come to touch. We exhale, hinge from the waist, lead with the heart. Fold down, letting the torso, again, kind of move as a unit, and then we release down. Keep the left foot where it is, step the right foot back. Come into your low lunge, draw the fingers under the shoulders. Right inner thigh spirals towards left inner thigh. Take a breath in. And then exhale, plant the palms, step the foot back, salutations, your plank pose. Take a breath in, press through the back of the heart, kind of pressing down through the palms a bit, feel the back of the heart lift. And then exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, lower down as a unit, sort of like a slow motion lowering of that push-up. Press through the hips and feet. Inhale, baby cobra, and exhale, release. And your transition back to down dog. So maybe you're feeling powerful and you want to press back up to your plank. You did that through your hands and knees. Maybe you pulled yourself away. It's up to you to determine that level of engagement, that physical engagement you'd like for your body to participate in, and you can change it every time. Right? Part of our intention this morning is really noticing the body, how it participates, and how the mind works with that, right? Are you telling yourself what to do, or is the body allowed to move a little bit more freely? Okay, let's take a breath in and out. Then with this inhale, let's lift the right leg, reach it back, keep the pelvis neutral, so right outer hip drawn down. And on the exhale, we're gonna bring the right foot through, but we're gonna step it to the outside of the right foot, okay? And you're gonna angle the toes out and the heel in. Let's lower the left knee down to the mat or your blanket, and keep your palms underneath you as if you were preparing for runner's lunge, right? This is sort of our prep for that pose. But we're just gonna stay here and breathe for a moment, feeling the palms grounding underneath us, feeling the feet, the back knee, right? Notice what's connecting you to your mat, to the earth. And then gently start to lift your right hand into your right thigh for a bit of a twist. You can press into that inner thigh and rotate your chest to the right. And these twists are such a great reminder of striving. Notice the pause of where your body just meets its natural edge. And if you want to stay there, great. If you're feeling like, I just want a little bit more sensation, pause, still pause. And then maybe notice the body's willingness to go a little bit deeper instead of just automatically forcing ourselves to make a shape. Give yourself time. And then we'll start to bring this into more of a twist, lifting the right arm. And you can just do that, keeping your knee down and opening your chest more to the right. But you can also incorporate some balance here, lifting the back knee, getting a little bit more involved if you'd like. Let's take another full breath in and out. And then release your right hand back down to the mat. And here we are kind of in what I've known it as is lizard pose, with the knee lifted like this. So this is what to me makes it different from runner's lunge. But I know that, people call stuff different things all the time. Lots of names for these poses. Let's take a breath in. Find that engagement of the upper body. Press your hands into your mat. Keep the hips kind of at the level that they are, and step your right foot back. And here we are in our plank pose. Let's breathe in. Exhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower down as a unit. Your inhalation is your baby cobra. Press down through the lower body. Find lightness in the upper body. And exhale, release. Let's move back to down dog. Again, always your choice of how you'd like to do that. Sometimes peeling back, hovering the hips over the heels can feel nice. And then lifting up to down dog. Let's inhale, lift the left leg and extend through the heel. Exhale, bring it forward and outside of the left hand, angle your toes out and your heel in. And let's lower the right knee down to the mat. right? The further apart your legs are, the more intense this may feel. So you can always kind of lift up a little if that's too much and rest on your front thigh, or even use your 2 blocks. This is a way to stay higher up, long spine. You're still going to feel this in the hips most likely if your legs are far apart. So again, just kind of finding your sweet spot of your lunge. The version we did on the first side is, of course, an option as well on this side with your hands under your shoulders on your mat. Take one more breath in and out, and then take your left hand to your left inner thigh and gently press into your thigh and rotate your chest to the left. Okay? Notice that natural place where your body pauses, right? Where you've met the twist limit, and then you can stay there, or you can go a little deeper if you'd like, if your body's willing to rotate further. Shoulders are soft down onto the back. Stay with your breath. And then we'll move into the twist a bit more, lifting the left arm up, rotating the whole torso more to the left. And you can lift your right knee if you'd like to. If you feel like that kind of supports a greater movement, that can feel good. Let's breathe in one more time. And breathe out. Lower the hand down, pausing in our lizard pose here. The knee may be down for you, and that's great. Okay, let's breathe in here, and then breathe out. Step that left foot back to join the right foot, plank pose. One breath in, exhale, release the knees, bend the elbows, lower down as a unit. The upper body's still working hard for that. Press the hips and feet down. Inhale, baby cobra, or more of a king cobra. Maybe your back's ready now. And then release back down. Toes tuck under, press back, and make your way to down dog. Breathe in deeply, let it go. Inhale, lift the right leg, extend through the heel. Let's exhale, bring it through, this time to where the right thumb had been. So like that first time, or more of a traditional version. Let's turn the back heel down and open up to warrior 2. So the back foot's parallel-ish to the short edge of your mat. Give yourself a lot of nice organic movement here. Shoulders, wrists, knees. And then let's settle into warrior 2. Arms extend, right knee bends, pressing down through the feet. Shoulders draw onto the back and belly hugs in toward the spine. Let's breathe in and lengthen the right leg and bring the arms overhead. Exhale, return to warrior 2. Inhale, lengthen up, reach, lift the gaze up. And then exhale, return back to warrior 2, gaze is forward. One more time, inhale. And with this exhale, bring your arms to a T, but keep the front leg straight. And then let's begin to lower the hands to the body and lift your torso up out of your hips a bit. We're gonna move into trikonasana, triangle pose. If you'd like, you can shorten your stance just a bit and have a block candy. Let's lift the torso out of the hips, and then exhale, lower your torso over the front leg. And imagine you're extending out through the crown of your head, so torso stays long. And then release the right hand down and the left arm up. And in this version, I'm automatically a little higher than I would be in some of my other triangle poses. So I'm gonna use a block to bring the floor up to me. All right, finding a little bit more ease in the pose here. Focusing on grounding of the feet, spiraling of the chest without having to maybe strive so much. Extension through the spine, through the crown of the head as we reach it toward that side of the room or the front of the space ahead of you. Opening through the chest and strengthening through the legs, pressing down through the feet. Let's breathe in and out. Bend through the front knee. Maybe walk the back foot out a little bit if you'd like, if you shortened it. Inhale, sweep up and back to reverse warrior. Open along the right side of the body. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, come back to your warrior two. Let's start to reach forward, and then exhale, come into extended side angle pose. And you can bring the forearm to the thigh, or you can use your block, right? It's there. Maybe lower the hand to the block. Right, top arm can be up ahead of you, or take a half bind, wrap it around your body. One more time, breathe in and out. Let's inhale, lift ourselves up to 5-pointed star, pivoting the feet, lining the toes up with one another. Give your hips a little wag here. Bring your hands down onto your waist. Lift the chest a bit. Stay for the exhale, soften the shoulders. We'll bend down into parivrtta padottanasana, but I want to do that as a unit. The torso moves as a unit, so kind of like a nice flat spine. So try to keep your hips as they are. Start to hinge at your hips. Chin is gently tucked here. Pause. Notice that extension of the spine. And then exhale and release. Let your hands come down and your head come down. And notice what it feels like in the back of your body, back line of the legs. Is this really stressful for your hamstrings? Maybe shorten the stance a little bit, or widen the stance, or bend your knees. Take another breath in and out. And then start to pivot back toward the front of your space, walking toward the right leg, toes on the right foot, turn forward. And let's bring this back foot in, shortening the stance, so the feet are only a few feet apart. Back toes angle out, 10 or 11 on your imaginary clock. Swivel the pelvis toward the middle of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway up. Hands can hover or extend out past your head. Breathe in and breathe out. Release back down. Let the crown of the head surrender. And here our spines might be a little bit kind of rounded. That's not a bad thing, but just noticing the differences from that straight spine, long spine in extension, and here we have a little bit of that rounding and surrender. Here might be a nice place to use your blocks. Underneath your hands, we'll find a twist in a moment, so having one block at least will be a little bit helpful. It always is for me, at least. And we'll start to move into the twist, lifting away from this right block, this right side. Left hand can stay down, maybe shorten the block or kind of find a midway height. Bring your right hand to your low back. Begin to twist your torso to the right. And then lift your right arm up if you'd like to. Draw your left hip forward and your right hip gently back. And you can stay like this or move into a bit of a balance. Bend through the right knee and lift the left leg away from the earth. Keep your toes pointed down toward the mat. Let the outer hip kind of follow as well. Reach out through your heel. See what you can do here without striving for it, right? Stay with your breath. Just be in the pose. Be here with your breath, whichever version you've taken. Let's take another breath in, and then exhale to release things back down. Bend through the right knee, let that foot return, let the right hand come down. Let's take a breath in and out. Bend through the right knee, step the back foot back, and start to transition back to your down dog. So you're welcome to take any version you'd like, including chaturanga dandasana. Your body feels open for that. Like it's desiring a little bit more of that dynamic movement. And we'll meet in down dog. Let's breathe in, lift the left leg and extend through the heel. Exhale, bring the foot through and replace the left thumb. Turn the back foot down, opening it up for a warrior two stance. And inhale, rise up. Find your movements here. And then we settle in, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Belly hugs in, tailbone draws down. And we let that left knee move toward the small toe side of the left foot and oppose any what might feel like imbalance by pressing down through the outer edge of the back foot. Extend through the arms, breathe. And then let's inhale, rotate the palms up, straighten the front leg, reach up. Exhale, come back into Warrior 2. Inhale, palms turn up, we reach up. Exhale, Warrior 2. One more time with the flow. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, we'll lift the arms and straighten that front leg. Exhale, just bring the arms back to that T position. Maybe shorten your stance slightly in preparation for triangle pose. Hands come onto the rib cage here. And this time I want to bring some awareness to the abdomen as we lower down. So bring your pinkies to the top of your hip crease, bony spot, before it starts to turn downward into the belly. And then your thumbs to the lowest rib and your fingers just to the insides of that space, okay? So start to press into your fingers. Maybe you're feeling the abdominal muscles here on the side, kind of your oblique muscles start to activate, pressing into the fingers. Maybe you're not feeling anything at all. That's okay. Well, let's start to engage the belly here. Try to find some sort of action in your core, okay? Pressing into the fingers, stabilizing. Let's take a breath in and out, pressing into the fingers. And then try to keep that engagement as you hinge over this left leg. And there's going to come a point where it's a little harder to maintain it, especially on that bent side, the left side. Just notice that, just pause. And then when you've kind of felt the limit here of your folding over the left leg, let your hands release into their 6 and 12 o'clock position. And of course, use your block if you feel like it's an appropriate height and measure of support for you here. You can always use the shin instead, as long as you're just being light on that touch. Okay, you're still using the strength of your trunk and your abdomen to keep you supported here. So even though we're not moving a whole lot, we're still steady and strong. It's a lot of engagement. Let's breathe in one more time and breathe out. Rebend through that front knee. Lift yourself up and back to reverse warrior. Open across the left side of the body. Inhale back to your Warrior 2. In and then begin to reach forward and come into extended side angle pose. Your choice of support for that left hand or left arm. Okay, forearm to thigh, fingers to the block. And let's bring the top hand either overhead or behind us for a bit of a bind. Get some opening across the chest and rotation in the shoulder. Breathe in once more and breathe out. Let's lift up all the way to 5-pointed star, pivoting the feet once again. Hands come to the waist, lift up out of your hips, and on the exhale, fold. Turn sideways here. Folding out from the hips and lowering your chest as a unit, lowering the torso all the way down. And then when you've kind of folded to what feels like the limit, then just release your hands and your head. And again, we notice that change from a long extended spine to one that's a little bit more rounded into a surrender. And imagine your pelvis here kind of as a mountain top. Okay, it's the highest part of this posture, the pinnacle. And the spine is like the river that travels down from the mountain and lets everything spill out through the head, just releasing down. The water travels through the low back, the sacral region, the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, up through the cervical spine, the neck, and out through the head. Take one more breath in and out. And then we'll start to pivot back toward the front, walking toward that left foot and walk the back foot in a bit, shortening the stance. Angle your toes out toward 1 or 2 o'clock on your imaginary clock. Swivel your pelvis toward midline, so maybe even pressing your hand into your left outer thigh a bit. Left leg starts to straighten and activate here. Let's inhale, lift halfway up. Your choice of hands hovering toward the floor or extending out ahead of you. If you take that version, see if you can draw the shoulders onto the back and really hug the belly in. And then we exhale and release back down, melting down. And you can use your 2 blocks on either side of your front foot to keep you a little bit lifted if you prefer that kind of length in the spine, or just giving your hands somewhere to rest if they don't quite make it to the floor. Right? Let the floor meet you where you're at. And from here, we'll start to move into the twist and then that optional balance. Okay, so we'll keep the right block where it is and let the left block move to the side of it. Let's start to bring the left hand to the low back and begin drawing that left shoulder over the right shoulder, spinning the torso to the left. Let the left outer hip travel with that a bit, so it's moving back in space. And then you can lift your left arm up toward the ceiling. Turn around so I'm not facing away. Okay, so here we are in our parivrtta trikonasana, twisted triangle. And if you'd like, you can take that into the balance. Bend through that front knee to help yourself lift up and come forward a bit. I'm using the block as well to support my balance. Keep spinning the chest leftward and extending out through that right heel. Again, notice if there's striving, if there's, you're having to do something that doesn't quite fit your body's capacity in this moment. Just let yourself be where you're at. Let's take one more breath in and out. Let's release back down and sort of move slowly down toward the mat. Bend through that front knee, pivot on the back foot, and then make your way back to down dog, however you'd like to. Will be the last downward facing dog of our practice, so maybe notice what's transpired from beginning to end. See if you can let any attachment to this pose go, if it seems to look or feel different than previous time, right? Can you be grateful for what this pose has to offer in this moment, right? That opening through the backs of the legs and the back of the body, engagement in the arms. Let's take one more deep breath in and out. Come on down to the knees and onto your seat. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and knees wide, Baddha Konasana. Grab your blocks. And just have them handy here. Let's bring the hands to the ankles. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, bend forward. Compress your elbows into your knees. And it may not be right at this moment, but perhaps in the next couple of exhalations, you're able to use your blocks in some sort of stack for your head. So you can bring one onto your feet, maybe the other on top of it. And you can let your hands come out ahead of you just a bit. Okay, just a choice, just an option. You can stay in this a little bit more active version if you'd like, if that feels good in your hips, pressing the knees down toward the mat with your elbows a bit. Let's all take one more deep breath in and out. Start to lift yourself back up. Let your feet come to stand on your mat wider than your hips, And let your knees rock from side to side. And then let your knees fall all the way to the right, unobstructed. So let your legs have a nice angle to them so their knees and feet aren't bumping into each other. And start to spin your torso to the right as well. Bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. And start to press into the legs and the floor a bit to give yourself more of a twist if you'd like, as if you're spinning your heart to the space behind you. Stay soft in your face and your jaw and let your breath move through you fluidly. And then unravel, bring your knees back up and over to the other side. And let your torso travel as well. Right hand comes to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit tall, and exhale, twist. You can let this right hip travel with you as well. It doesn't have to stay forced down onto the mat, but it is something to experiment with. You know, if you want to keep that hip plugged down, what does that do for the twist versus keeping it lifted? Right? Is there more freedom in one over the other? Try it out. And then let yourself unravel. Wash the knees a little bit last time. And we'll start to make our way onto our backs. And you can use your blanket in many ways, of course, but I had in mind today to support the backs of the legs. So you can take your blanket kind of in a round roll to support the backs of the thighs, or if you have a bolster, you can use that instead, okay? So let's get ourselves situated. Add anything else you'd like. Maybe you take your ponytail out or put a layer back on, preparing to get comfortable here. Okay. Lie back down on your back, on your mat. Let your legs extend out over the support of your bolster or your blanket. Let your feet flop out or in. And let yourself surrender here. Of course, if there are any other poses your body's asking you for before you come into Shavasana, take those, of course. Maybe just a quick modified happy baby or regular happy baby can do the trick. Your body might feel complete then. Let your hands come out to your sides. Shoulders start to get heavy. Arms are heavy as they rest at your sides. Belly is soft. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Maybe it's just a touch deeper now after all the awareness of the breath. The legs are heavy, resting on the floor. Belly is relaxed. Chest is soft. And the face is soft as well. Let your jaw unhinge and your tongue fall toward the back of your throat. And come back to that idea as your breath as a gift for yourself and for the universe. When we're breathing deeply, we are calming our bodies and minds. With our exhales, we can surrender into the softness that we've created with that nice exhale. We're reminded that the present moment is where we are. And with our inhalations, we're receiving a gift from the universe. And with the exhales, we are returning that gift to the universe. You are welcome to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move on with your morning, start to deepen the breath a bit, vitalize your body, and find small movements in your fingers and toes. You can rock your head from side to side. Give yourself a full body stretch, reaching your fingers away from your toes. And then bend your knees and roll over to either side, coming into a fetal position, letting your knees and feet rest together softly and letting your head rest either on your arm or you grabbed your blanket to support your head. Allow yourself to feel satisfied and fulfilled here. Know that feeling satisfied and fulfilled in life creates deep inner happiness. And then begin to press yourself up into a seated position. You can take your time and maybe just keep your eyes closed, keep your awareness within. Bring your hands onto your knees. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Seal your lips. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. We'll close our practice with a few thoughts today. Our intentions of easing future suffering and finding contentment, Santosa, all relate to one of the Yoga Sutras, Sutra 216. Heyam dukam anagatam. Through discernment, we can avoid karmic pain, or we can avoid future suffering. So today, as you step off of your mat, I just encourage you to keep the idea in mind that whether we're happy or despondent, we can feel grateful for what we have, regardless of the external circumstances, regardless of past pain or future suffering. We can feel grateful and content in this moment. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your head to the wisdom of your heart and lift your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows, sealing your practice. Holding those thoughts all together here at the space in the center of the heart, bowing to that wisdom. Thank you all so much for coming this morning, unrolling your mats and being with yourself and with this community on this Saturday morning. It's been a pleasure to share this time with you all. The teacher in me bows to the teacher in all of you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a pleasure to have this time together of meditation and reflection and movement. So I, again, really appreciate you all being here. I'm grateful for you all. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or feedback at all. I love to hear your thoughts, and if you've got anything on your mind about this practice or anything I shared, I'm happy to hear it. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. I'll be back again on Monday evening at 5:30, and then next Saturday. Take care. Be well.